What's up, bosses? Welcome back to the hottest show on the internet, The Truck Boss Show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification so you're up to date on all the latest trucker news. Today we've got a great show for you. We're checking in with Brad as he gives us an update on fuel prices and how diesel prices are actually set. And you won't want to miss Hope from Mother Trucker Yoga as she gives us a series of stretches you can do right in the front seat of your rig. Are you ready? Take it away, Jason. We can all see it. The price of oil is high. But do you know how fuel prices are actually set and the logistics behind how we receive our oil? Here's Brad Kuhn to break it all down for us.
Welcome to part 2 of our deep dive on fuel prices. In part 1, we explored the elements that go into determining the price for diesel at the pump. In this segment, we talked to John Kingston, editor-at-large and resident oil and gas guru over at FreightWaves. John, what role does politics play in determining the diesel prices at the pump?
Well, very little, but people think it plays a lot. The reality is that the price of crude bottomed out in this kind of latest run in October, actually before the election, and it's up about basically it's pretty much just about doubled since then. So that's your timeline. Diesel has come along with it. To be honest, the price of diesel is ultimately going to be set mostly by the price of crude. But let's point something out. Oil is going up, copper is going up, lumber is going up, agricultural products are going up. We are in the middle of a commodity boom. So oil is certainly not unique, but that's a small comfort to the drivers filling up their trucks.
Who sets the price at the pump?
Well, so the last place that an oil company sets a price is not at the pump. They set it at the wholesale level, which is known as the rack. After that, it is up to the individual retailer to decide what they're going to price at. And certainly as the price goes up, they're going to want to capture that. As the price goes down, they're going to want to be reluctant.
Do retailers contract with just one local rack, or do they shop around like consumers do?
Well, they will do two things. They will have contracts with suppliers to guarantee them a base of supply, but they will also play the spot market, and it's kind of fascinating. They will take this down to like 1/10 of a cent margin. That doesn't mean that they don't have contracted values, contracted supplies. They're not going to go to the spot market every single day, but they will look to that spot market with an incredible amount of precision for other supplies that they need.
We hear a lot of talk about energy independence and the importance of being a net exporter of crude. Does that balance of trade really make a difference when it comes to setting fuel prices?
Yeah, you're energy independent because you're a net exporter, but there's no man is an island here. No country is an island. You are completely connected to the rest of the crude world. It is just one big market. We do have some nationalism in the sense of the Jones Act. The Jones Act requires any product, not just oil, that's shipped from one U.S. port to another U.S. port needs to go on a U.S. flagged vessel. And quite frankly, when you get periods of imbalance, that's a problem. One of the reasons we don't ship it, let's say, from the Gulf Coast to the East Coast is because you have to do it on a U.S. flagged vessel because of the Jones Act, which is more expensive. So instead you put it on a Liberian tanker or whatever, a Panamanian tanker, and you ship it to Latin America or you ship it over to Europe instead of keeping it home. Like that's an area where nationalism results in doing something that is maybe less efficient than you would otherwise, but on economics, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
John, thanks for explaining all of that, especially that last part, which I don't think a lot of people realize. For the Truck Boss Show, I'm Brad Kuhn, and I'll see you down the road.
Who knew about the Jones Act? We learn something new every day, and it really puts things into perspective for us. Brittany, what do you have on your end?
Thanks, Nikki. It's time to check in with one of our favorites, Hope Zavara from Mother Trucker Yoga, as she walks us through a series of stretches to keep us all feeling good while we're out on the road. Check out these moves you can do from the front seat of your rig.
All right, you tell me, and then I can just go to town here.
Well, what are some of the best stretches that truck drivers can do while they're inside their rig?
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the things that drivers need to remember is that there are movements that they can do right in the driver's seat, even while driving. And first things first, though, we have to like shift our mentality that it has to be exercise, or we have to not be doing what we're doing during the day to get those movements in. And one of the number one complaints I hear from drivers is back pain. And one of the best movements that a driver can do is called a pelvic tilt. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see what that looks like from the side, because that's really gonna be the best view. So sitting nice and tall, you're gonna pull your back away from the back of the seat itself. And as you take a nice big breath in, try arcing your back. Now think that there's like a big needle back there, or if someone dropped ice down your back, you're like, ooh. I want you to try to arc your back. So that means your belly drops forward, your sit bones kind of pull apart underneath you, and your heart lifts up. If your hands are on the wheel, you can even pull back on the steering wheel a little bit to pull that chest forward. Now, when you breathe out, your tailbone is gonna curl underneath you. Your belly's gonna deflate in, and your back is gonna round out. This is pretty much the posture I tell you to never have during the day, but we're doing a movement, so it's okay. And you're just gonna repeat this process 5, 10 times. We're mobilizing the hips, but also we're bringing more blood flow down to the legs and the lower body. When we sit for long periods of time, we not only block up our nerve endings and our blood flow, but our lymphatic system as well. So by moving the hips like this and stretching in that lower back hip pelvis area, we offer more mobility, more fluidity through the lower body, which is going to help you in so many different areas of your life. So that's one of my favorite moves to do while driving. Another one that I really love, I'm gonna face you again. I'm gonna take one arm, flex that palm and reach it down. So if we're mirror image, this would be your left arm. Drop the shoulder. So really pull the shoulder away from the ear, lots of space, and then tip your head the opposite way. Now, very gently, if I start turning my head, I'm gonna find little areas where it's like, ooh, that's a lot tighter than where I just was, and you're gonna hold there. I can also move my arm front to back, or turn my arm and see where else I have some tension. Now, if this feels pretty good, stay here, or you're just gonna gently use your opposite hand and add a little bit of resistance. So you would do that to the side. I know, isn't that awesome?
That is amazing.
Computer users, all that mousing, that tension goes way up into the jawline. When you're driving and your elbows go up during the day, that brings all that tension up into the jawline. So if you're grinding your teeth or clenching your jaw at night, that could be part of the problem. It's not that you slept funny or that, yes, posture plays into it, but pay attention to where your elbows are when you're driving. Bring them down, not up here, down here. Same thing with mousing. Bring your arm in versus having it be out. Height is less of an issue. It's how close it is to your body. That's gonna get some relief for that neck. And so it's all these small little things that we can do during the day that are gonna affect how we feel in the bigger picture. And it's not just about exercise. The last thing I wanna show you that you can do from the driver's seat, I'm a really big proponent from trying to stretch from the driver's seat. You spend 8 to 11 hours there, you might as well do stuff there, is reaching. Now this might just seem really silly, like, okay, hope you're reaching up overhead, but when you're 80, or maybe you know someone that's 80 or 90, how often do you see them reaching up overhead? No. And so if you don't do it now, you're not gonna be able to do it later. Now you can add a little side bend into this, keep your hip down, and you can even roll your chest closed or roll your chest open. Think of it like suspenders. Where are my suspenders on my pelvis the tightest? And then do the same thing on the opposite side. Now, obviously, if you're driving, don't take your eyes off the wheel and don't get all crazy, but just reaching your arms up overhead can be a big change for you when it comes to back pain. So again, one of those things that you don't think would affect it, but it does. So how many ways throughout your day can you stretch your arm? Back to the passenger seat, up, across your body? Can you bring both arms back and open? Where is it that I can move and extend my arms, reach, to help create more functionality, more mobility, and just feel better during the day? So it's these little things, you guys. I want you to see where you can implement these into your day.
Oh, Nikki.
Yeah, get those stretches out.
I'm telling you, those were some good stretches.
I just love Hope. She has such good advice, and
Such good advice.
it is so beneficial to stretch because seriously, being on the road for all of those long hours and on your caboose,
Yes.
You need to get the blood flowing.
Yes.
And so when you stop to go to the bathroom, just make sure you throw some of those stretches in there.
Yes.
So easy.
And some of those ones you can do right while you're driving. You know,
Yep.
you have your hand on your wheel and you're able to just stretch it out. It gets the blood circulating. You can even do it sitting in your living room, sitting at your desk.
Yep.
There are some great stretches.
Yes.
Thank you, Hope. We so appreciate you for always being a big fan of the Truck Boss Show.
Yes, thanks. Big thanks to Mother Trucker Yoga.
Yes. And let's talk about next week. We are doing our Ways to Stay Safe series. We're talking with a paramedic, and this time it's about choking. What to do if you're by yourself and you're choking, which is already really scary.
Yes.
Even if you're like in a restaurant. Can you imagine being by yourself choking?
No, not at
We're
all.
talking to her. She's going to give us all the deets.
Can't wait. And then next we dive into a family-owned travel center in Arkansas, and Chris takes us on a deep dive into why you want to stop by one of their many locations.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one. And don't forget our podcast, Bosscast. It is this episode, Nikki, is a really good one. It's talking about the infrastructure bill. It's gone through so many stages. Where's it at now? And what does it mean for you? You want to take a listen to that.
Yes, and don't forget to enter to win our latest Boss Box. It is on our main Facebook page. All you have to do is fill out a little form. It's not too in-depth. We just want a little bit of information about you to get to know you a little bit better, and you'll be entered to win a lot. Easy for me to say.
A lot of good prizes. A lot of good
swag,
prizes.
including some chrome. So head on over to there and enter to win that, and we'll announce the winner next month.
Yes.
Next
Ooh,
month.
I can't wait for that. Be sure to do that. And don't forget, get to like, share, and subscribe, because we can't do this without you and your support.
Yep, that's right, Brittany. So why do we do this?
Because you're the boss.